both barrels birth control. Tom and Ollie ruin the moment before 2 become 1, become 5. Plus, if you want to look the part as well as shoot the part, supporters have the chance to win a Sealand clay shooting bundle worth £175. Fact or fiction? Animal rights activist Eduardo Goncalves' book on trophy hunting gets our old mate Jens-Ulrik Høgh sniffing out the BS. We have news, we have hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Why is this squirrel shooter running? The job's on is why. When the squirrels start doing this, that means we're 44 days from the squirrel population doubling. Of course it's been a different year this year. I'm out with Tom Davies on a 2-day squirrel shoot in woodland that hasn't been shot for a couple of months. And he is out to do a specific job for the landowner.
Yeah, she does not like the grey squirrel whatsoever. They tend to come from the wood where the shoot is, and they travel all the way along the hedge line, and then they come down into a bird table and take the food, and also they chew the bird feeders and the bird table. There's so many of them that you can go in, you can do your job, take a few out, and you come back and they're there again. This is only a small piece. There's about 80 acres in total, but they've got a nice block of woodland which is absolutely riddled with grey squirrels. So yeah, hopefully we'll get in there and do the job on them today. Part of the deal that I have with doing the deer is I'll look after everything else. So I'll do the squirrel control, I'll do the rabbit control, I'll do the fox control, lambing time. It's all part of like the package really. It helps the farmer out, and they help me out because I get the deer stalking, so it works both ways.
The first one is up a tree and takes a few shots.
It's dead. That's the main thing. It got what we came for, yeah. So which is good. I just got to go down that hill and retrieve him. It's quite a steep one.
It is indeed steep, but this is a good-sized squirrel, so all that climbing's worth it.
Bit of grown and male. Did you know their teeth never stop growing? That's why when they're always chewing on stuff and trees, wherever they come across, just keeps them down a bit. If they didn't keep growing, they'd wear them right down, they wouldn't have any teeth to eat.
Now, can you call in squirrels? Tom is not so sure.
Is there something a bit like that?
You're no Paul Childerley.
No, I don't. I'm nowhere near his level.
I think it's more of a sort of...
Oh, yeah, that's it, yeah, that is it. And they do like a slightly high-pitched version as well, don't they? It sort of goes up to it's almost like a quack, like a duck. Another thing that they do, they make this noise, it's a bit like... It's so quiet, you wouldn't even hear it. Like if you were walking through the woods, you'd hardly hear it. It's only if you're, today there's a bit of wind, so you wouldn't hear it. But if you're just watching them, you'll hear them do it, and they'll sit there and they make this little croaky, like clicky. It's like a horse trotting.
Twitching tail or making alarm calls, for all his talk about how 1 squirrel dies and 5 come to the funeral, there aren't many squirrels around today. After a lot of walking, he spots his second one.
The tree over there. No, on the base of the tree, it's just moved on the base of the tree.
He moves into position, but the ivy is providing good cover. We pass plenty of signs of squirrels, including dreys. Then Tom finds what he's looking for, on the ground a few yards behind wire. He makes his way into the cover to pick it up.
This is one of those things where size doesn't matter. Yes, a bit of crawling, bit of finding. I don't really know what happened there, but yeah, we managed to catch up with it and get hold of it.
A lot of American viewers ask if we eat the grey squirrels we shoot.
Personally, I've never actually tried them. I know people that have tried them, they love it, and people do say it tastes a bit like chicken. It's too much of a rat for me, really. So yeah, it's not for me, but this will be going in for dog food. Local dog food company will be taking all the squirrels that I take, so it doesn't get wasted, so everything gets reused, which is great.
We end the first half of this 2-day squirrel hunt on 2 squirrels, and yet back at the truck and Tom reveals 8 hanging there.
I was out this morning, it was a different area, and I just had to go, and yeah, it kind of backfired really. We should have gone there, because they were running around everywhere this morning. So yeah, but that's just how it gets hunting, isn't it? We didn't see them till the last half hour, did we? So yeah, they are moving later on for their feed before bedtime again, I suppose. But yeah, we got the 2. That's good.
Day 2 dawns and Tom enlists the help of his buddy Ollie Williams from Cornwall. Ollie, you may remember from previous squirrel films, is not measured like Tom. Where Tom is a squirrel sniper, Ollie belongs to the in, twist, withdraw school of squirrel shooting.
Because the thing is, he's a professional, and I'm very much a hobby squirrel shooter. So if I see a squirrel, I'll climb the tree to shoot it.
To start with, Ollie is disparaging about Tom's thermal addiction.
Well, he literally is glued to his hand, so it doesn't matter whether it's overkill or not, he will have a thermal. Probably not overkill, I think, it's a help, because at the end of the day, he's professional, so it all needs to be done.
That's the beauty of
So for me, that's my thermal.
branches, what angle there? Just run down that.
Who's down there? Where is it? There he is! Yes! Another one, it's back where it was. That's pretty good. If you hear a squirrel doing that, then the chances are there's normally a fox nearby. The score is now 2-1 because obviously the dray up there, I shot it, and quick look on the thermal tells us there's at least 1, if not 2. So I'm going to go with a high number, and yeah.
I'm just giving a head start.
The thermal, even with squirrels, obviously is invaluable because you can pick up all of the squirrels we've picked up with the thermal first. If you can afford it, it's definitely a bit of kit worth getting if you're serious about shooting. Yeah, it was one. Is he sitting on the tree? He just shot all of the ivy. You get both of them. That one literally flew 30 yards.
At the end of the shoot, there is some division over how many squirrels they each shot.
Well, are we counting squirrels that we shot, or the ones that are there?
Well, it's up to you. What's you going to count?
Well, in that case, 20. I think. I shot 2 dreys.
Yeah.
And definitely squeaking coming out of 2 or 3 of them.
Out of what's there, I think it was quite equal because one of them we shot at the same time. It was in that ivy. So I think we got 2.5 each there. But I think overall, because I shot the dreys, I think my count is way up.
Higher than Ollie's.
Yeah.
Ollie.
100%.
No, I can neither confirm nor deny. I won't get invited back if I start saying it.
And finally, the vexed question of the trophy shot. How do you make squirrels look impressive? As an old Africa hand, Ollie knows. Why are you doing that?
I don't know, you told me to. Big part of guiding or professional hunting or anything is when the client shoots something is the photograph. It's obviously got me in a bit of hot water earlier last year, but that is a big part of hunting these days. Just the way that it's all moved forward. I know we're just using squirrels as an example, but for a small animal, I'm sure Paul Childley will know best, but for a small animal you want to make it look as big and imposing as possible to make an impressive photograph. So golden rule is always have it on a brow, always have the camera lower than the object of the photograph. Then they're the foreground, I don't know the photographic terminology. Tom, if you stand behind and crouch down, proud of your trophy.
Do you put a gun in the shots with him?
Can do, it's up to him.
I don't mind, with my clients I do the same as what Ollie just said.
Yeah.
I'll get it up on a nice bit of ground with a nice background.
Bring the camera down beneath.
You're making me work now.
So look at the size of those squirrels. They're at least half the size of a man. And then we're both socially distanced, of course. Ta-da!
you can do more of a serious day with both Tom and Ollie. For Tom, look for Dartmoor Deer Services on Facebook and Instagram. For Ollie, check out CornishSportingAgency.com. Thank you, gentlemen, and if you are a supporter or become a supporter, you'll soon have a chance of winning a rose stalk with Tom and with Ollie, kitted out in his Sealand. This week's prize on Fieldsports Extra is £175 worth of Sealand clothing. How do you watch Fieldsports Extra? Join the Fieldsports Nation is the easy way. The hard way is to guess the 11-digit code in the YouTube URL, but why go to all that trouble? Now, while you click on that link in the description below, may I present to you the man known as the missing link of broadcasting. It's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The wildfire season is well underway on the UK's moorlands, and gamekeepers are organising patrols to put them out. 11 moorland estates have already come together to put out a blaze on the Peak District's woodland moor. 6 fire appliances and rural workers brought another fire at Owler Barn in the Peak District under control, near to where gamekeepers found disposable barbecues. The first fire of the season has taken place on Saddleworth Moor in West Yorkshire. The Easter weekend is likely to be the busiest for fire crews for years, as members of the public let out of lockdown take to the hills. The Muirburn season ended in mid-March, but that's not stopping the RSPB, which is trying to use moorland fires as a way of monstering gamekeepers. It has started a Report a Burn campaign, claiming the wildfires are caused by managed fires on grouse moors. Northern Ireland may go further than the rest of the UK in banning hunting with dogs. Northern Irish politician John Blair confirms a ban on the control of rabbits with dogs will be included in his proposed private members' bill. He recommends using rabbit repellents instead. In an effort to split the rural community, he has left out of his bill shooting, traps and ferrets. The Countryside Alliance is running a lobbying campaign and needs your help. Link in the description below. Pet dog owners can now be fined £40,000 if their dogs worry livestock in Scotland. Holyrood unanimously backed a members' bill brought forward by SNP MSP Emma Harper, a dog owner herself, who said the change would help make a real difference to farmers. She wants the Dogs Protection of Livestock Amendment Scotland bill to help to educate everyone about the importance of keeping dogs under control around livestock. Convicted dog owners who can't pay the fine face up to a year in jail. Police are searching for owners of gun dogs found after a raid on dog nappers. Sussex Police seized the pets at a site in Surrey on the 16th of March 2021. One pup, a 2-year-old Cocker Spaniel called Willow, was reunited with her owner after 8 months of being missing. A 30-year-old woman arrested on suspicion of handling stolen goods has been released after investigation. Appropriately, the police called the swoop Operation Collar. Thanks to Steve Kearney for the story. A hunt has been caught breaking lockdown, says ITV. The corn hunt has suspended 2 of its masters who donned red coats and rode out with hounds during national lockdown. ITV News reports the corn hunt joint master Nikki Hanbury organised the meet as a 70th birthday surprise for her husband Josh Hanbury, also a master. A doyen of the terrier world has died. Colonel David Hancock MBE was among the dog experts who lined up to condemn the Kennel Club in 2008 in the BBC film Pedigree Dogs Exposed that nearly killed Crufts. He also wrote the breed standard for the sporting Lucas Terrier and the Plummer Terrier. The Kennel Club Library in London now houses his library of 640 books on dogs and more than 5,000 images. The Irish minister in charge of issuing deer licences has declared himself an animal rights activist. Malcolm Noonan is an Irish Green Party politician who has served as Minister of State for Heritage and Electoral Reform since July 2020. He made the claim in an official release from his department. The National Association of Regional Game Councils has called for him to be removed from his post. Thanks to Ronan McKenna for the story. There's outrage in Italy as the Ministry for the Environment says it wants to ban most bird shooting. It lists 19 birds it says it wants to put on the protected list, including duck, pheasants and a partridge that's thought to be extinct in the wild in Italy. It's unclear whether the wider ban will go through or if the move is a pretext to ban just autumn turtle dove shooting. Thanks to Hayden Williams for help with the story. Antis are claiming the credit for burning down a rodeo ring in Chile. The ring in Cañete was damaged in the arson attack. The Antis are promoting links between their actions and the liberation of Mapuche political prisoners. If you think the USA is becoming more liberal, think again. Montana is considering opening up hunting for both wolves and black bears. The state's first Republican governor for 16 years is considering new laws that will allow lamping, baiting, snaring and using night vision on wolves and hunting black bears with hounds. Botswana is to issue nearly 300 elephant hunting licenses in April. It'll be the first full hunting season since a ban was lifted in 2019. Coronavirus travel restrictions disrupted the season last year. The country's Department of Wildlife and National Parks will issue 100 licenses for elephant hunts, with another 187 licenses from last year's aborted season. The news comes as WWF, which supports regulated hunting, says that 500,000 elephants in Africa are two species: the savanna elephant, which the WWF says is endangered, and the forest elephant, which the WWF calls critically endangered. And finally, it's a gamekeeper to the rescue after a barn owl was caught in wire. Yorkshire Dales Moorland Group posted this picture of a gamekeeper approaching a raptor, and instead of doing what the RSPB says gamekeepers do, he untangles it and releases it. Happy Easter. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, here is a word from fox shooters' favourite, Pulsar. Now, if you are burning to smoke some targets, our free-to-enter field tester community project, Steel vs Barrels, is open again. All you need to do is head along to Austin Shooting Ground, helpfully located in the centre of England in Nottinghamshire, where we have a dedicated stand to put 10,000 steel Ely Eco Shells down the barrel of Yildiz SPZME Black Edition shotgun, just to see what happens to the barrels.
So what do you reckon to that then, Jim?
Yeah, very good. Good cartridge. Not as much recoil as I thought there'd be. And to be honest, I'm quite impressed with the Turkish Yildiz, weirdly.
So it's thanks to them, to CCI for supplying the eco targets, to Austin for hosting us, and to you for doing all that shooting. Link to that in the description below. Next, from smashing clays to bashing hunters. A new book suggests that the anti-big game hunters smell blood. Jens-Ulrik Høgh smells something different.
Yes, indeed. I read about 800 pages in these 3 books. There's actually 3 of them. I only know there's 800 pages because I literally measured the thickness of the books. I counted up 25 pages, measured that and calculated that there must be around 800 pages because there's no page numbers, no indexes or anything like that in these books. But I went through them.
One thing that's noticeable is he's had an awful lot of media out of this. He has placed sections of this book in all kinds of newspapers, particularly British newspapers, perhaps very gullible journalists. So there must be something in there that is shocking. So what is it that he's revealed?
Yes, there is a lot of explosive stuff in these books, which are of course yummy for the tabloid press. Supposedly factual information. I've marked a lot of them out in this book along with posted stickers, and these are all claims that I fact check. One of the good examples is Goncalves going through the CITES trade database. Now CITES is a treaty signed by a lot of countries back in the 70s to avoid animals and plants becoming threatened by international trade. So he's going through all these records. Every single transaction within the CITES treaty is recorded and it's publicly available online. So he's going through millions of records, and he finds one single vervet monkey hunting trophy being exported from South Africa to, I think it was, the US back in 2014. Nothing unusual in that. The only thing unusual is that this particular one monkey is registered in the CITES database as captive bred. Now, instead of fact-checking whether or not this animal, who is considered a pest in southern Africa, and it really doesn't bring in any money in the hunting industry, Concals says himself that the trophy fee of a vervet monkey is £47. In many places, the trophy fee is nothing because it is a pest. So he actually jumps to the conclusion, based on one entry, one record, that there must be monkey breeding ranches in Zambia breeding monkeys for the trophy hunting industry.
Thank you, Jens. And you can watch the full half-hour version of that podcast-type interview if you follow the link in the description below. Also, look out for my interview with James Field, a shorter item about his new book on hunting in Africa and the UK. And here is James on what his book contains.
The book is in two parts. Part one is all about population and the reasons why hunting is a legitimate and necessary, managed, regulated consequence of our population growth. Part two is basically a reprint of several stories that I've actually had in the Shooting Gazette, the African Hunting Gazette, the Sporting Rifle and so on. And that's for entertainment. You know, what I hope is entertaining stories relating specific hunting, whether it be on the hill in Scotland or Cape Buffalo in Africa or Zambia, game bird shooting, wild boar in Hungary and Slovakia. All of those things is for entertainment. It's the first one is an educational process, and it's hopefully written in a way that even those who know all or are biased against hunting in principle through their ignorance might actually learn something.
Now, from the Scottish borders to the rest of the world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it's Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. First up, Peter Jones from the Capriolas Club sends me this about Seeker on the Isle of Purbeck in Dorset, stalked with a Blaser R8 in 300 Win Mag. For wilderness bird shooting, Norwegian Joe Vargan is after ptarmigan in a promo for a film he is selling on DVD, whatever that is. Tim Roche is back at work in Derbyshire. This film is a montage of shots from the last couple of weeks. For hunting as adventure, Billy Moles guides a Kodiak brown bear hunt that gets dangerous, and all against the stunning backdrop of Alaska. American big game hunter Dallas Haymeyer heads to Mongolia for a variety of hunts in the Gobi Desert and Altai Mountains. Back to the UK and airguns, Andy's Range takes his Ratworks tuned HW100 into the field for pest control to show what you can do around the farm with the Sub 12 177. Our own Roger Late now has an airgun channel with a hint of Daystate about it. Here he puts the Daystate Safari through its paces. And finally, staying on guns, Finnish rifle maker Sacco is 100 years old this year, and you may see social media celebrations to mark the occasion. I like this one, the history of the company on YouTube in English. That's it for this week. I have put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. And that's it for this week. If you haven't done so, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click to like us there on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page, and we'll contact you about this show, Fieldsports Britain. It's at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.